Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. It's Patrick Morrison coming to you live here from Homestead, Miami for the final race here of the season of the Ford 400. This is going to be a wild race here tonight. It's really two drivers we're going to be circling here tonight at who is going away as the season champion here. Originally, Greg Biffle back in 2003 did end up winning this race, so we will see if that is going to play out for any of the drivers out there in the 23 machine. Right now, we're looking to see as he's hanging out there in the back. Yes, he is, and he will be ready to go. Nick Ham. All right, let's take a look. 160 laps for you guys here tonight. 10 sets of tires down there in the pit, and of course, there being no fast repairs. I'll be your lead producer and commentator tonight as I bring you all 160 laps here at this mile-and-a-half track. The track is beautiful out there tonight with a wonderful 94 degrees down on the track, 81 in the air, and everybody getting ready to go as they are starting to get on the grid here. And Vincent Arthur and Brian Jones will be taking off here in just a moment. I do not see Vincent Arthur taking the steering wheel here as of yet. Kind of holding on that number 24 Jeff Gordon machine. That way we can see them get going here. All right, a lot of tough talks around the pit area here about what tonight is going to be the big changing moment here. Brian Jones is going to need to be in that number one spot here to have a heck of a run as Dalton Tucker. One of the very, very few times I have seen Dalton Tucker starting outside of the top 10 here. There was a consideration of him possibly not making this race. Right now, currently, the 42 machine is going to make the track. He is out there tonight. We'll see if that ends up becoming a starting park for him, though, as he is leading out there in the points. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid for tonight's race. Vincent Arthur, Brian Jones in that number 1 and 2 position. Moving on to Hunter Sr. and Jacob Gladelick, who occupy the second row. Moving on, Nick Giles, who is 5th. Jared Skinner being in the 6th spot. Cody Reeder, after not being able to make last race, drops a couple of positions in the points and dropping him down into the 7th for his qualifying time. That means Ryan Housden will be 8th. Josh Conover sits 9th. Matthew George is rounding out our top 10. And boy, I'm glad to see we've got a good chunk of drivers this time. Moving on to Dalton Tucker, who sits in 11th, which I see him falling off pace already. This may be a starting part. Brady Moats sits in the number 12 spot. He'll be trusting the process from the outside row. Dustin Kleba making his return out there in the number 9, sitting 13th. Nick Pressey 14th. And moving on to Nick Ham out there in the 23 machine. Needs a sponsor out there with LJ Hernandez. Not in the chat here. He's going to be out there on the track. And rounding out the last of our field is going to be Nick Pressey. We are under green. First caution comes out here of the night before we can make it through lap number 1. Josh Conover, our first driver to get spun around here. Unfortunately, it looks like through turn 3 and 4, loops that Bud car and heads right to the inside wall, where you do see he does collect some damage from the front nose of the Budweiser machine. So, unfortunately, his Chevrolet will need to come down pit road and get some damage taken care of. Unfortunately, Josh Conover was looking at some contact there. They are scrambling to see. Right now, pit road's starting to get pretty excited out there as Josh Conover will need to be coming on down. Man on the move was Chase Durheim, though, out there in the Jeff Burke machine in the 99 Roundup car. He's going to be looking to see if he can continue his charge up to the front. Already in a matter of about 3.5 to 4 turns, Chase Durheim did gather 6 positions. Not bad there, as currently Dalton Tucker sits down in the 15th spot. LJ Hernandez, there he is, currently sitting out there in the number 77 car. We will see him get ready to go here. We'll double check and make sure. I definitely want to make sure his paints definitely come through. We'll make sure and give a double check as we take this moment to look back at Josh Conover and see kind of what happened to the number 8 car as he gets around the track here. A little sloppy. There's the number 8 there as they try to reload. And whoop! Not quite sure what happened there. He kind of steps off to the side. Yeah, it's like he had some like tire spin there or something. I mean, I didn't see anybody out there or anybody radioing up of any oil down there on the track. 2 drivers working their way down pit road along with Josh Conover is going to be Ryan Housden and Dalton Tucker. This may be Dalton Tucker's pit stop here as it looks like right sides are going on. It looks like Dalton Tucker will be racing here tonight. He was able to complete 3 laps, though. Right now, Brian Jones would need to win this race. And return back out there. I'm not seeing the 42 reactivate, though. He may be sitting back just a hair. Vincent Arthur has been chopping away at the points lead. It is kind of a moot point here where we stand, seeing how far away Vincent Arthur is. Currently, Vincent Arthur was able to gain a position last week. That does shift him up into the 4th position out there on the points. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was actually with his 7th win of the season is where we ended up finding him. The only person getting more than that and tied. Dalton Tucker is up to 10 wins, and Brian Jones has 7 of his own. So Vincent Arthur is starting to get hot as of late. Definitely struggled the entire amount here of the playoffs, getting into other drivers and bending up a few fenders out there. One to definitely note out there is Dustin Kleba out there in that blue Ford. He has been getting mashed up here the past couple of weeks, but it looks like they do solve it and get it settled out here. All right, let's go ahead and talk to you guys out there in the chat. I see Jay and Drift King out there and Alanis King. No doubt there. Alanis King out there going to be rooting on Brian Jones. Guys, don't forget you can go out there and check out there on the Expel machine. You can see you can get 20% off all your car care needs. All you got to do is use Alanis20 right there on his car. So Brian Jones still holds in that 2nd position. Our top 3 unchanged as we get single file to get ready to get back underway here. I see they're signaling for final to go here. So Vincent Arthur is excited to get this back underway. Right now I'm seeing Dalton Tucker still sitting down pit for the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That may do it for the 42 machine. Josh Conover with an extended time, about 51.5 seconds. We're going to get ready to get this back underway here as green flag is back out. Vincent Arthur, no doubt here, he gets away, scrambling to get out in front. As I said, currently our top 3 has yet to change. Our silver bullet is under fire here by the number 19. Currently Cody Reeder's Dodge having a fight to keep right now that silver bullet, trying to put him behind him, but it looks like the Jeremy Mayfield car cannot get it done. Nick Giles taking a pretty gutsy maneuver out there in the Gatorade number 12 Ford as he takes the high line. Everyone knows out here at Homestead, this is one of the tracks that's extremely tough out there at a 6-degree banking. And there is a possibility of frying that right front tire off. Streak in the wall is the 12. Currently, Nick Giles is going to be in some trouble here. One caution out already here. Out there on lap number 1 goes to Josh Conover. All right, some shifting here in the background. I see Jared Skinner, one of our new drivers, getting a little bit of Dustin Kleba there in the rearview mirror. Currently, he's going to have a lot of him. We'll see if Dustin Kleba decides to pass him here. Cody Reeder is watching Nick Giles, who does obtain that 4th position. And staying away, Dustin Kleba looking to the inside of Skinner. Early Jared Skinner out there in the 39, originally driven earlier this year by Kyle Rochelle in the Scott Pruitt machine. That is going to go to Dustin Kleba to the inside for that number 7 position. Back to the 39, though. Right now, that is going to go to Jared Skinner to finish out the season. Glad to see somebody take over that car and come alive. Speaking of coming alive, take a look who's coming in the background. Right now, Nick Bressy is driving the wheels off that thing. Apparently, he's got it so loose, he's smacking the wall, heading down the front stretch. So currently, here comes Nick Bressy taking a look to the inside. Giles starting to come up with a little bit of trouble here as he breaks over that three-quarter mark away from Brian Jones. Currently, that does leave a decent amount of separation, though, as they fall backwards. Good turnout here tonight. At least 17 drivers took the green flag here tonight. Dalton Tucker will have a 17th place finish as he is taking it back to the garage, start and park for him. So Brian Jones needing to win this race. He has yet to get his 5 bonus points for leading the lap. We'll see if it is unreachable. Get our points up here after a little while. As I keep an eye here on Vincent Arthur, looks like he is blinked out here. Our leader missing off the track. Hopefully we'll see Vincent Arthur return. Currently that is going to put Brian Jones into the lead. And just as I mentioned, him not getting those 5 bonus points, full disconnect by the 24. Loses it on lap 9.5, does not return. Vincent Arthur will be going a lap down now as he has disconnected. Holy cow. So turn of events, Brian Jones moves up to the lead, and followed by that, 2 more Fords, Nick Giles and Cody Reeder. Currently, NASCAR has not gone ahead and put Dodge out there on the track for this year. So Cody Reeder actually runs the manufacturer number 19 Ford out there with the Dodge paint scheme on him. Hunter Sr. out there going to see if he can fend for Dalton Tucker out there and see if he can get something for Chip Nossie Racing as he sits in 4th, and Jacob Gladelick out there in the Tony Stewart Home Depot number 20. He'll be rounding out our top 5 with those 2 Chevrolets sitting in the final spots of the top 5. Let's move on back to Brady Motes. Let's see if anything's coming of the process here. Good turn exit speed. He breaks away from Matthew George, who's taking a look to the inside. That was currently the battle for 10th. Motes hanging that Nick Giles line up toward the top. Decides to scrub in the marbles just a little bit there. Did have a little carryover from the Busch Series race that was on top, as there's a little bit of rubber buildup there. So some guys fighting a little bit of slick track out there as they continue to turn. Cars driving up and not really pulling on through the turn. Nick Giles, that doesn't work as he hangs on the outside. Not going to get, yep, he gets a fender just barely past the number 19 as Cody Reeder goes down and tries to touch that white line. Getting a full breakaway here from Nick Giles. Giles trying to take a look, and he's going to be playing chase. Sit on board here with Nick Giles on his netting cam. You take a look, hard off the gas here. Rotate through the turn. So the Ford 400 doing an awesome job here as we only had 1 caution for a solo spin out there from Josh Conover. Vincent Arthur not returning as of yet as he's sitting here almost 4 laps down now as he's going to be panicking to get back. Brian Jones, Cody Reeder, Nick Giles, Hunter Sr., Dustin Kleba. Already a punch to get into the next spot. This being the final race here of the National Oval Racing Association. I do appreciate you guys hanging out here with us at SimTraX Broadcasting, and also to those of you who have subscribed. I notice we are starting to peter a little farther away from that 1,000 mark. I believe I've got about 30 to go before I can hit the quadruple digit number. I'm pretty excited about that. It's just going to be a major milestone here for SimTraX Broadcasting. Hopefully we will have some updates out there on Facebook with SimTraX Broadcasting and let you guys know exactly what is coming up here. This looks like it's going to be a slow time, not only for the economy, but also for our broadcasting here. It's going to be petering back just a little bit here as we take a look at a couple of leagues who have been taking an eye and a liking to our broadcasting here, as well as you guys out there who are watching. We'll see if we'll bring you any following broadcasts in the near future. If I'm not mistaken, we're probably looking at somewhere February or March. The National Oval Racing Association not looking to slow down at all. They want to strike while the iron is hot and not give up at all. Speaking of not giving up, here we go with Josh Conover sitting in the number 12 position. Looks like he's putting Matthew George under fire there for just a moment. High side, he's going to be rolling. And turn exit speed, gets the draft there from Matthew George. He's going to run up real close, and boy, you see Conover having a nosedive pretty hard there and reactivating. The Rainbow Warriors has got him back onto the track. The DuPont Chevrolet of Vincent Arthur is going to be really on the back end here. I believe he's about 7 laps down. This goes to show you not only can there be mechanical failures out there with the car in real life, but there is electronic and connectivity issues here in the simulator. Let's take a look. This is the battle for third. Hunter Sr. looking to see if he can keep his position. As he gets down to the bottom, good pivot there, but watch this turn exit speed here by Gillis. Gillis on the roll. Back to the netting cam. Right here on the edge, you can see right where that brake cooler is sitting. At that left window, there's the 40 of the Silver Bullet. Coors Light machine of Hunter Sr. not rotating up the track. Very peculiar to see him not block that top line. Would have thought we would have seen him peek on through. Sit shotgun here with Gillis as you see the banking here of this turn. Flattens out. Oh yeah. Good race here so far. Gillis here still remains on the outside. Hunter Sr. in the Sterling Marlin number 40, trying to see if he can find a kind of a lane here to get full clear. Notice the 40. There we go. Rotates up the track. This will give Hunter Sr. a better angle heading into the turns and not so much pressure on those tires. Definitely you see most of these guys with a little bit of banking that they do have out there are able to lean into this turn, use the banking of that turn to help sling them in. Last thing they want to do is having to use more wheel input. That definitely puts more pressure on that right front tire, which is why you'll see times start to fade off. Best time out there for Brian Jones is the 33:20. His last time, 34:02. Just about breaking that 1 second of fall off here. And normally fuel tanks go about 55 to 60 laps here. I don't believe that is going to be the case, seeing that we are on about that 77% fuel limit. So give or take about 40 to 45 laps is when we're going to start seeing guys come in for fuel. The question being out there on the track and even down in pit road, are the tires going to make it that far? Well, we'll see who's been taking care of them. Drivers like Josh Conover got a extra little spit there on lap number 3, throwing 4 tires on to get him back out there on the track. Well, I would say this has been all Brian Jones' race. Vincent Arthur led all all 9 laps that he was out there in front before his disconnect. As he heads down, as he's currently out there on the track, holding in 16th, but Nick Pressey, our 15th place driver, coming down into pit road. Looking to see if we get a little bit closer here. A little bit of damage to that right front fender. You guys remember maybe back in the 2000 race, back in the back 30 spots, Dale Earnhardt actually started back there in the back. And in the first 10 laps ended up with some right front fender damage. And his pit crew had to see if they could fix and pull out. A little nudging and bumping out there. As Scott Pruitt was actually the first one to bring out a caution during that race. All right, Cody Reeder doing an excellent job here. He holds on to the second spot. He's moved up 5 here on the night. Not bad for an outside the top 5 start. Hunter Sr. still remains in third. Still within a decent striking distance. 1.3 seconds off pace though. We've got to make up about another half a second to find the number 19. Dustin Kleba out there for KPR Motorsports, or the Evernham Motorsports gang that we've got out here. Currently, his entire team sitting 1, 2, and 4. You guys may remember the In the Fence podcast. Definitely go back and rewind and listen to some of what they have to say out there. other than Chase Durheim. I would say this guy isn't qualifying. Doesn't seem to qualify at all. But he is always the hard charger of the race. We just got to get this guy to finish the race. Chase Durheim has gained 12 positions here tonight, currently up to the top 5. Not bad for starting dead last out there, as his Ford has been charging hard. Nice little stop there during caution after he gained at least 4 positions. And he clumps them back together, get him single file, and Chase Durheim back at it again. So next on his list will be Dustin Cleva, but Cleva's starting to put the distance on him. Great job. Chase Durheim gets a little trail breaking, rolls on through. Let's check back in with Jared Skinner sitting in the 9. Currently sitting in the number 9 spot is Jared Skinner, his 39 Chevrolet. Taking a look at Brady Moats sliding across that front nose there. Definitely does not appreciate that John Andretti machine starting to get that close. Fast tracker boat trying to see if he can run down Vincent Arthur, who's a bunch of laps down. Vincent Arthur is holding his own though. Hate to see a full disconnect. To see already out there, Atlantis. Yep, no problem showing the code out there. Definitely we show these guys who have their own sponsors out there. Make sure we get a decent walk around and a shout out from their sponsors. Hopefully there might be a possibility of getting a commercial for those guys for next season. So we can get a little bit of a shout out there. And Squishy Edge Net saying congratulations Dalton on the championship. Yeah, I do believe all he needed was a starting park here tonight. 3 wide heading into turn number 3. Early Nick Gillis is going to squirt out of there. Top line is going to be Vincent Arthur. Arthur going to pull on around. Gillis is sitting back now in 7th as Gladelick passes him to move up to 6th. So Gillis starting to feel a little pressure here. That right side tires, I think, are playing up on him. High line run for him this entire route. He does not seem to be changing anything here. Definitely enjoying that line as he works hard. Currently 2 drivers out there from the Chip Nassy Racing team sitting down in 9th and 10th, that being Skinner and Housden. Housden's been pretty quiet here this race. He's dropped down a couple of positions in his target machine. Seems the 41 Chevrolet still scrambling to get back up to the front. Still holds top 10, not bad. As Dalton Tucker had retired there on lap number 3. And Nick Pressey, after a minute and a half, seems the damage is too great. He is taking it back to the garage. Hate seeing that for Nick Pressey. Final race here of the season. Was unable to finish it. Still got our eyes out there on the number 99, but currently I want to keep an eye on Jared Skinner, who's taking a look from the inside. Gillis again under fire. Gillis now to 9th. Skinner still battling him here. Skinner is starting to pick up the pace here the past couple of laps. Gaining about a 10th looking about a 10th there on Brady Moats. Moats in some trouble. And here we are. Look at this clutch of cars. This is currently 7th through the 10th spot. Brady Moats holding in the 7th. Jared Skinner currently 8th. Housden is 9th. Nick Gillis sitting in 10th. Final guys in our top 10 working hard here. Gillis starting to get a little squirrely. Down on the bottom, he switches it up, tries to put Housden to the top line. Brady Moats hangs high. As currently he is rolling with the DEI group. And down pit road, here comes Gillis. Lap number 34, we'll see if he can break it down. As his, I think they've picked the pace up. I think about 45 should be our pace speed. He's currently holding at 50 miles an hour. Very difficult to come down pit road, staring at your speedometer. See if they can squeak on by. Here is the battle. Honestly, this is for the 2nd position as we get around the number 77 car of LJ Hernandez, who's down there on the bottom. Currently, I believe the 77 car was driven out there by the Brandon Gaulton and originally Martin Plute. Martin Plute has been MIA for a while. Martin Plute and Christopher Darling, those two guys came in at the same time. Definitely tried to put something on this National Oval Racing Association, but it's extremely hard to break a very solid team of drivers who show up each and every week to give these guys a run for their money. Check back in on Brady Moat's high side. Currently, we're still hanging in that 8th spot. Boy, it just seems that right now Ryan Housden can't make up his mind where this guy wants to go. LJ Hernandez working his way down pit road. I'm sure a 4-tire stop. And hopefully we'll see his Ford return back to the track as he's sitting down there for the last 40 seconds. Right now, Atlanta's kind of hoping that right now LJ Hernandez not in the chat in the car. We are excited to see that. And I'm sure LJ can tell us how easy it is if we get an opportunity to talk to him. At least tell us how hard it was to get into this league. I would say it's not hard at all. You just got to show up and run. And at least have a decent amount of racecraft out there. We can't have guys smashing into each other. Jared Skinner still on the bottom here. The battle for second did fizzle out. Hunter Sr. held on to second. Dustin Clevesit third. And Cody Reeder falls back to the 4th spot. That's why we kind of petered off of them here. We got these two guys going fender to fender. As currently the 39 machine is still trying to fend off that number 1. Currently Brady Moats charging ahead. Yeah, I would love to see what Chase Durheim can do. Right now, Chase Durheim, that's him battling here for 4th. Wow, that is amazing. Chase Durheim, that is now his 13th position gained here on the night. The only person to gain just a little bit less is 10 positions where Dustin Kaleva sits. Chase Durheim treating this like an all-you-can-eat buffet. This guy is coming out here and just eating up every single spot out there on the track. Only 3 more to go to gain the lead. And he might have an opportunity to do it the way he's been running. Currently, Chase Durheim running a 34.5 seconds last time by. It sits at about 34.46. That's actually faster than our top 3. Brian Jones running 34.92. Hunter Sr. 34.73. Dustin Kaleva 34.51. And I can't say that Chase Durheim has been saving tires here. How do you save tires when he's been churning forward? This guy is not slowing down as we come to the 1/4 part here of this race. Brian Jones leading it here. And right now, I'm sure he's reaching down and starting to tap on that fuel gauge a little bit, making sure that fresh air hasn't sucked that fuel tank down. Little update here on our pit road. Dustin Kaleva now working his way on down. Working their way on out. Hunter Sr., Chase Durheim, and Josh Conover revisiting down into pit road. I'm sure we'll see him breaking out of his pit box. Yes, he is. Away he goes. Chase Durheim not letting up here on Hunter Sr. Look at this. This is fantastic. Right now, Chase Durheim racing like he's done this 1,000 times. That is the first time I've seen somebody coming off pit road not giving up an inch on exit. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that is what I expect. When guys come out of pit road, fresh tires, the last thing you want to do is give that guy any space at all when you get back out there on the track. And currently Chase Durham is letting him know, fresh tires are not, I've got your number, buddy. So here he comes right now, sitting in 7th. And it seems to definitely be working out. We get in that Chase copter cam here up toward the top, brought to you by Michelin Tires. Where rubber meets the road. Currently, here we are. Chase Durham sitting in 6th. As he's got Hunter Sr. in the rear view now. So Chase Durham getting back up to that 5th position, but still our leader has yet to pit. Brian Jones still hanging out there. Cody Reeder came down on lap 39. Nick Giles came down on lap 33. And I believe Giles will get the lead here in about a lap or so as Brian Jones works his way on down. So that'll be our top 5, all consisting of Ford vehicles, have come down and pit. Chevrolets make up 6th through 14th. As Brady Moats with an extended amount of time down pit road. He rode that high side for a very long time. I do not see any damage done to his car. As Brian Jones' left side's going on, he's got to hurry up here as Nick Giles gains the lead. Jones dropping down to 4th, now 5th, as Chase Durham is going to make it past him. Brian Jones trying to scramble out there. Currently 6 seconds behind. Ryan Housden at over 180 miles an hour, 135 entering the turn. Ryan Housden going to pass him. There's Brian Jones coming off pit road now. Boy, Ryan Jones hanging out there for so much longer. Lap 45 is when Brian Jones came down and pit. And we'll see if that pays off for him a little bit later. Even breaking it down mathematically, I don't think he's going to have enough to do a 3 stop. If he does 45, that puts him at 90. Boy, yeah, maybe one more stop and he'd be able to make it. He might be trying to 3 stop it. Give it to Brian Jones thinking outside the box here. So we look down into pit road. Brady Moats refiring back up. And out he's going to go. Getting that number 1 Chevrolet Monte Carlo back underway. Brian Jones, 33.16. Fastest time out here on the track tonight. Number 45 Ford. Still blazing speed. 16.5 seconds between middle way of the track and the finish line. These guys are flying out here. Currently, Brian Jones will take a look at the last lap, 33.14. Man, he is, wow. All right, checking out there in the chat, Jay is even saying no one likes Caution Fest. No, they don't. Definitely plenty of room out here on the track for you guys to race out here with the National Racing Association. You can tell LJ Hernandez figured it out. He knows how to get out here. As the number 77 machine is getting his opportunity to make his debut race here tonight. Getting an opportunity out here. We definitely like being able to have a chance to show everybody off out there what they do out here on the track each and every night. More and more difficult as they can continue racing. All right, I do want to take a peek out there During our time going through the field here, we take a little look. There was a pass here for the lead. Looked like Cody Reeder was taking a look at Nick Gillis. Gillis not giving up that top line at all. The 19's going to slide underneath. He'll have a 6-lap tire advantage here. Gets a little bit loose, blocks the 12. And Nick Gillis has yet to be able to recover. Gillis sitting off by about 2 seconds here. Huge jump for Cody Reeder. Take a look there. It looks like his own teammate of Dustin Kleba taking a look here toward the bottom. Fresh pass by Brian Jones over top of Hunter Sr. That's now going to join our 5 Fords back up top again. The Chevrolets are going to be 6th through 14th. Hernandez sitting down about 11 laps though. He's going to be looking to see if he can turn on back. Must have dealt with some damage here earlier in the race. 5 minutes down pit road. Good job here so far. Cody Reeder, Dustin Kleba, Nick Gillis, Chase Durheim, and Brian Jones making up our top 5. Rolling on back, we find in our 6th position Hunter Sr., Jacob Gladelick. Ryan Housden is sitting in 8th, moving on Jared Skinner and Josh Conover. Conover with the lap 2 caution out there, able to recover, and he's rounding out our top 10. Matthew George sits in 11th. Nick Ham is sitting in 12th. And then we've got our lapped cars, unfortunately, starting with Brady Moats. Came down pit road on lap 42 for a 3-minute pit stop. Vincent Arthur, full disconnect there on lap 9. Returns 7 laps later. He's sitting 14th. LJ Hernandez, some damage to his car. Ends up falling back now to 15th, 11 laps down. Nick Pressey and Dalton Tucker have taken it back to the garage here tonight at Homestead, Miami. Definitely Homestead a good bit of a way off of the coastline there, but they were able to haul in a bunch of palm trees to at least make it look semi-sporty and Caribbean out there. As you can see him just over the wall there, turn 3 and 4. Currently Chase Durheim is sitting in 3rd. Great job here as we take an overhead look here at the track. Excellent view. And that Goodyear blimp, there's a picture way above. All right, we'll sit here and take a look at Dustin Kleba, currently sitting in 2nd. Right now he's been churning away here, kind of slowly chopping away at Cody Reeder. And now Reeder has gotten out in front by 2 seconds and now is down to 1 3/4. Slowly losing time here. Let's check back in on the Gatorade machine. That's the high side for Nick Gillis. Give it to these guys this year. A lot of guys out here on the track have had some tough seasons. Nick Gillis being one of them with a ton of DNFs this season. Jacob Gladelick being another. Guys just unable to get these races completed, either by car wrecks or electrical components failure or just having some trouble out there on the track. We are happy to see Jacob Gladelick out of the two-stone car, but he decided to stay in an orange machine. He's currently sitting in 7th. Glad to see Jacob Gladelick out here competing this season. I don't want to knock Jacob Gladelick at all, and that's why we're going to go ahead and take a quick peek here at our championship points, which I definitely want to show you guys, which I believe I'm getting word that Dalton Tucker has secured the win here for the season for Chip Nassy Racing. Currently, that is Dalton Tucker sitting in that number 1 spot. Brian Jones is 2nd. Jacob Gladelick, you see in our background there, is sitting in 3rd. He's been doing an excellent job this season. This guy just almost cannot seem to have anything go wrong for him, oddly enough, because most of the time you see he can't get these races squared away. He just gets absolutely blasted. Now, consider this as well. He's the only driver in the top 5 with not a single pole or a win to his name this season. but he has scored on the podium at least twice. So you want to talk about absolutely heartbreaking out there for Jacob Bradley, that if this guy had gotten a couple of wins this season, would this have completely turned his race, his race around here? Vincent Arthur is sitting in 4th currently, and Vincent Arthur's sitting with 7 wins, so it's hard to say. Vincent Arthur had missed a couple of races, though. Yeah, we haven't seen Captain Palmer in a while. Leva's attendance has been a little spotty. Of course, we got Cody Reeder, Josh Palmer, and George. Alrighty, 60 laps complete here for Cody Reeder. He's on lap number 61 as Ryan Housden is taking a look here at Nick Gillis again. 41 Chevrolet taking a look here to the inside. Gillis going to see if he can get some exit speed on him now. Housden doesn't seem to be carrying at all. Take a look at that Ford Taurus. Number 12 stays toward the top. Yeah, if you had told me that Nick Gillis was going to choose high line here tonight, I know he was toying around with a couple of lines out there. But if you had told me that Nick Gillis was going to stick to that top line all race, I'd almost called you a liar. But there's no way. Give it to Vincent Arthur, still out here being competitive. Currently, this is him taking a look to the outside of the 39 to Jared Skinner. Skinner out there in the Ford 4, out there currently in the 9th position. We've got less than 100 laps left to go here at the Ford 400. Homestead, Miami is where we are at currently as we're watching Vincent Arthur clearing to the right side of his car. Last time he came down was lap number 49. It'll be a while before he can visit down into pit road. Nick Gillis currently watching him go on by. Jared Skinner looking to see if he can put him under fire again. Remember, Nick Gillis did come down a lot earlier than everybody else. He came down on lap number 33. LJ Hernandez did much of the same. But LJ had to suffer and take a bunch of damage out there. I've got to admit, Jay out there, if you're watching, these guys have definitely cleaned up these races here with the lack of cautions that we've been seeing. Caution-free last race at Darlington. And as I say something, the number 12 pulls a Josh Conover here. And you can tell how cooked these tires are on the number 12. You can see he let off the brake to try to see if he could get it to turn before he hit the wall, and it just kept going straight. So second caution here of the night. Cody Reeder is going to be cursing under his breath now. The number 12 bringing out our next caution. On lap number 65. Right there, you see the tires rotating, and that thing just kept going forward. If he had kept it locked down, there might have been a chance of him not smacking the wall. That not being the case, him was breaking loose there. Nick Gillis out there, unfortunately, bringing out another caution here for the night. If I'm not mistaken, during Phoenix, I think he was the only caution we had in Phoenix. Atlanta's when he had the caution back there on lap number 128. The only caution we had at Phoenix was due to Brady Moats. Darlington was flag to flag, green racing. That was an awesome race. Jacob Gladelick electing to stay out there on the track and not coming down into pit road. This is no surprise, as Jacob Gladelick's MO is to wait an extra lap. He'll take the back of the field and have an extra lap on fuel. Right now, this is gonna, I've got to say, this is gonna mess up the number 45's race here. The 3-stopper is now going to be scrubbed. He's going to have to currently run this out with everybody else. This is definitely going to tangle up what he's trying to do here. We'll see if we can get an opportunity here to talk to the number 45 machine of Brian Jones, and hopefully we'll be able to not bug him too much here. Brian Jones, you got a copy on me here, bud?
I got you.
All right, man. I hate to see the playoffs kind of rounding out like this a little bit, but let's try to stick here to the track. It looked like you were going for a 3-stop race here. How does this caution affect you?
Well, I was looking pretty good on fuel. I liked where I was sitting before the caution, but it's going to shake things up. Change the fuel window quite a bit, and so I think we're going to see who does from the top this race.
All right, is this going to still be a 2-stop race here? We're looking at maybe another 40 to 45 laps before you're out of fuel again. I mean, how does this work for the expel machine?
Yeah, 90 to go. We got to go 30, 30, 30.
Yuck. All right, well, hopefully that works. Nick Gillis has been falling off pace all night here, stopping on that lap 33, and he is dearly paying for it as he sits back there in 12th. Brian Jones, good luck to you out there, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, right now that does give us Brian Jones out there. He's going to be sitting on edge. I think he's going to be a little bit nervous of how this race is going to roll for him for the remainder here of the night. Brian Jones down there. As we are back under green. Dustin Kleba grants a good breakaway. Brian Jones sits second. As he gets a solid takeoff here. Chase Durheim is sitting in third. Brian Jones saying, well, top line may be the place to be. Whoop, little skid there. As Chase Durheim is playing chase. Dustin Kleba getting a good launch here. Let's roll back to Nick Ham, as I believe Nick Ham is under fire. Currently down on that bottom line is going to be Matthew George and Josh Conover. I expect Conover to try to make a full recovery here after the first caution came out of the night. But he slide off of turn number 4. Interesting to see a set of fresh tires for everybody out here. Oh, look at that. Matthew George. Destroyed. 23 car. Hood over the windshield. Huge hit here. Nick Ham. Absolutely obliterated here. Looks like he's got a bent rim and a flat tire. Matthew George smashed into the wall. Josh Conover damaged as well. Right front wheel missing. That thing is wedged underneath of the fender. As soon as I say something, Josh Conover, he is going to be done here for the night. Josh Conover's playoff run is over here, and so is Matthew George's. Huge hit here, coming down the front stretch. We'll take a look as Josh Conover is trying to desperately limp it back. I don't know if Josh Conover missed pit road here. Looking for maybe a top 10 finish. But we'll take a look here as he is continuing to shoot sparks everywhere. Here they come out at turn number 4, 23 loose. Contact, Matthew George rotates up and collects all 3 of them. Boy, Vincent Arthur getting out of there just in time. Assist shotgun here with Vincent Arthur. Yeah, good job there on the fuel. So you hear him clutch it there. He goes ahead and lets those guys on by. Take a look at Josh Conover here. This was fast. So, huge hit here tonight. And this unfortunately ruins Nick Ham's race. And it looked like he might have gotten loose coming out of this turn. Yeah, that's tough to see because the hood is up. So Josh Conover down pit road, the 25, trying to get back together. I don't think Matthew George is going to have anything of it here. We'll see if he is able to return. Nick Ham has already taken it back to the garage. He knows he's blown to bits here. Coming down pit road is going to be the number 20. He did watch it all from his angle as well. Gladelick will come down. We'll see with 10 sets of tires down there in the pits. There's nothing stopping Jacob Gladelick from throwing an extra set of rubber on there. Might have been an idea. I believe Jacob Gladelick did come down and get 4 tires. And then came down the following lap to get a top off on fuel. Gladelick making sure that fuel tank is up to the top before we get back underway here. Pace car head ducking on off here. We're getting ready to go here in just a moment. Lapped cars to the inside. LJ Hernandez. And, all right, moving on through. You see Vincent Arthur going ahead and sidestep into there as the 77 machine down toward the bottom. Kleba, Jones, Chase Durheim. 1, 2, and 3. Hunter Sr. Ryan Housden goes ahead and gets his breakaway. Outside line is going to be for Jared Skinner. Hernandez staying down there toward the bottom. He doesn't want to mess up anybody's race. Hangs down on the bottom side, not going to get a lap back this time. Early Vincent Arthur would like to go ahead and see if he can promote a chance to get one of his laps back from the almost 2 handfuls he's down. So as Brady Motes last time he was down pit road, or excuse me, the first time he was down pit road consisted of almost 3.5 minutes. As, wow, Cody Reeder getting sideways here. This track is rubbering up. Originally, we had been fighting tight conditions out there. We are now fighting loose conditions. Track temperature hasn't changed much here. 92 degrees down there on the track. 91 is where we started. So it shouldn't be any kind of a track temperature difference. They are definitely feeling it here. Are starting to slide around a little bit. Everybody loving the aspect that iRacing's put in there. And get a little close to that rear bumper. Takes the rear air off the back of that car. And they start sliding around a bunch. Currently, we're keeping our eyes here on Cody Reeder. He's been the one who's been the most violent lately. Currently taking a look off the back of Cody Reeder's machine. That's currently Jared Skinner behind him. All right, Cody Reeder looks like he finally gets the breakaway here as he looks like the bullseye. With Ryan Housden's target car in front and Jared Skinner's target car behind him. Dustin Kleba still leading this race. Brian Jones is going to put him under fire, though. Less than a quarter of a second back is Brian Jones and Chase Durheim. Those two together. Currently, they both sit over half a second off the leader of Dustin Kleba, who got a good launch there. Hoping I didn't cause any trouble out there for Brian Jones in his restart. That's going to bug me to the end of the race as we reach our halfway point. Lap 80 of the 160 we are scheduled to run here tonight at the Ford 400. We're here with SimTraX Broadcasting. Patrick Morrison coming to you live here in the booth for the finale race here of the season. Currently checking our notes here. Brian Jones does lead the most laps here so far. Dustin Kleba looking to turn the upset here. So we'll see if we have any sort of changes out there to what's happening out there on the track. Currently, Dustin Kleba, Brian Jones, Chase Durheim. Tough racing here so far. As we clump up with our two target machines, Cody Reeder was able to squirt out of there. He's up to 5th. Giles sits in the 6th spot for now. As Housden and Skinner are both looking side by side here to see if they're going to change anything up and get anything moving. Matthew George, you got a copy on me out there?
Yeah,
all right, awesome, man. Glad to see the number 25. Not exactly in the position you're in. Down into pit road you go, buddy. Talk to me a little bit about that wreck and kind of what you felt out there.
Pretty much all I really heard was tires squealing beside me. And then I just got hit on my right side. Wasn't really sure if it was my fault or if it was net code at the time or if what it was. I asked the guys in the Discord chat what happened, and I guess the guy beside me just got loose, and I watched the replay, and yeah, he just got loose. That outside's been really loose all night, but it's been fast, so can't complain.
Yeah, I was going to mention that just as you said it. The outside has been really something that we even see Nick Giles hasn't given up on, but is definitely taking a toll on the tires out there. Really a rough race here. Nick Ham, you can't really blame him. We've been taking a look at a lot of these races here. These Gen 4 cars have been really loose here when drivers start getting behind that rear spoiler. A little bit of air comes off the back. Is it possible that maybe even Josh Conover may have taken a little air off the back end of Nick Ham there and might have caused the 23 to break loose?
I actually noticed that a couple times myself. It was a weird feeling a couple times that it's possible. But I only noticed it maybe once or twice, and I wasn't 100% sure because I don't know if iRacing's quite that perfect to get it down. That perfect, but definitely possible.
All right, Matthew George, we're going to scrabble a couple of things here because I don't get to talk to you hardly at all. We're going to kind of poke a little bit of a sore subject here. No wins, no podiums, no poles. You sit in the chase here, I believe in 7th position, if I'm not mistaken. Talk to me about consistency and how it kind of all matters that it brought you here, even into the final race, that you had a possibility of coming away with a championship here. You know, you were in contention, you know, here for the past few races. I mean, talk to me about, like, how do you come out here each and every week and say, you know, we just need to finish the race and you know, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I try my best to be as consistent as I can, and going into this season, I thought I was going to do a lot better than the season with no stages. The runs were going to be a lot longer. I'm usually fairly decent at taking care of my tires, but it's really hasn't fell into my wheelhouse with this car, and the iRacing tire is not exactly great right now. But yeah, it's everything's set up the way I want it right now. You know, no stages, the long runs are great, but it's just not flowing in my direction.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, we've seen a couple of drivers, like even back in the next-gen cars. Jacob Malone, that guy could fly, buddy. It didn't matter, but I think we're seeing a driver, I'll poke him a bunch, Vincent Arthur. I mean, that guy was a force to be reckoned with when we put him in the next-gen car. We get him in a Gen 4, man, he has been having trouble all year. Even Josh Conover, trouble all year, just trying to get this car. And don't get me wrong, it's fresh to iRacing, it's fresh to you guys. They're still changing draft packages out there, and there's a lot of moving parts here, and especially with a 36 race season, you know, a lot can happen. I mean, I think you guys have gone through a minimum of 2 to 3 updates here this entire season. So as soon as you get used to the car, things change, you know, and your consistency has been able to put you in a top 10 finish here for the season, regardless of any DNFs and regardless of any wins, and not scoring on the pole here.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I try to be as consistent as I can. I'm very happy to be able to finish in the top 10 in points. Just gonna definitely try and do better next season. I've taken a few things away from the season as far as learning. But as you said, 3 updates this season. There's definitely going to be more next season. So just gotta keep on learning.
All right. Well, you kind of lead us into my final question here for you, Matthew George. Next season, what's it looking like out there for the 25 machine? Are we excited? We're going to have a new team? Are we going to be working with different guys? I mean, what exactly is going on here? Because I thought originally the 25 machine was supposed to be down there. Brian Vicker's machine is supposed to be with the, I believe, the Hendrick cars out there, especially with the number 24.
I do plan on staying same guys. I'm just simply hoping to better my points position for next season. You know, keep on learning what I can. And from what I've seen, you know, there are some changes that could happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, some differences between the league, and also some differences also that we'll see through iRacing. Matthew George, I don't get a whole lot of opportunities to talk to you here in the booth. You have any shout outs for me? People watching, sponsors on the car, anything like that?
Oh yeah, everyone watching right now, you guys broadcasting for sure. Races have been great all season long. The admins, the admin team, got the race background right now. It's kind of annoying, but but yeah, just everyone in the Hendrix, the DEI camp, and this whole season has just been a blast. So even with the struggles, I'm just hoping to move forward and do better next season. These cars have honestly been fun. Finally some horsepower, I'll say. Just gotta throw that in there too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really hope that iRacing is able to liven these cars back up. I think you guys ended up at Atlanta, you guys ended up at Charlotte and Talladega. The car was almost stuck. And I'm hoping they fix the draft package for you guys. I desperately hope so. This was one of the cars that I've been looking forward to for I think a couple of years here. To really hope it would come around and we'd see it, but they've kind of messed it up a little bit, and hope they can get back to the drawing board. Matthew George, sorry to see your race go like this, buddy, but definitely an awesome finish here to the season. I can't wait to see what you got for us in the following seasons.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. All right, that's going to be an awesome job there. Moving on to our next driver here is going to be Vincent Arthur. Vincent, oh my gosh, dude. What a race and what a blink out at the worst possible time as Brady Moats is sideways here. Bringing out our third caution here of the night. Vincent Arthur, talk to me a little bit about your race here tonight as we get ready to take a look at what just happened out there on the track.
Yeah, I'm not watching the race right now, but I'm sure it was a spectacular spin by Brady. We were just out there having a lot of fun. Homestead's a fantastic track, and I wanted to make sure that I got all of my enjoyment for tonight. The second throughput was just a little much for us. Yeah, I thought we had a lot of speed. Except for on the bottom. If we didn't have that first blink out, I think we probably would have led most of that first stage. And I don't know. I don't know how it would have ended up, but I wanted to make sure I got in there and got as many laps as I could at such a wonderful racetrack.
Yeah, and you really put on some fast speed out there. And I've got to say, blink out probably at the worst time out there on the track. But man, you were able to come back and still battle with these guys. You know, what an excellent job. Tell me, Vincent, how in the world later into the playoffs here, you know, kind of this chase for the cup, that you started coming on hot? You know what I mean? You've been struggling all year, and just that DuPont Chevrolet is finally starting to seem it's getting its ducks in a row.
Yeah, just a change of mindset kind of halfway through the playoffs. I mean, we started this year hot. I think we won like 3 or 4 in a row. Then we went off. We were winning, you know, every couple weeks, and I feel like we had a pretty successful year, and then they just had a bunch of bad luck and bad runs and just dumb mistakes on my end. So I kind of had to just reframe my mind of, like, I know how to drive a race car, so just go out and drive a race car. Right. It sounds super easy, but it is way harder to do that than you'd think. And kind of once I flipped my mindset to worrying about everything else and then just started focusing on doing what I do best, the results have come. I mean, at the last couple of races, they're kind of my sorts of races. I just get into the race, figure it out as I go, and then that last run, I'm there to pounce. So yeah, I mean, it was nice to end the year with a couple of victories, and we'll go into the off season with this stretch of good races we've had, and hopefully carry this mindset into next year and make it last for the full 38 weeks.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see how this upcoming season goes. You know, I've got to say, Vincent, when you get winning in your system, I've got to say it's a good and a bad thing. It's got to be contagious because you know you can do it. It feels great when you come away with the win, but if you don't win, it eats away at you and just keeps digging a hole and driving in. You're like, man, why can't I seem to get up front? Why is this so difficult? Why is this so hard? And is that kind of the mindset we're battling out of? Or talk to me a little bit about when we talk about change of mindset here. I mean, you're a very successful driver, but how do you change your mindset of? I mean, what are we changing here, buddy?
Yeah, just picking and choosing your battles. Just try and, like, these races are long. You get frustrated, especially when the rubber lays down and the line that you know you're fastest in stops working. So you got to move around a little bit. And these things, I mean, it is within 50 feet of driving in too deep or too little can really make or break your day. So people can be lifting 50 feet earlier than you, and you're running off your right front, and they're not. So it's super finesse based. I just kind of got to realize that these cars have so much horsepower, and the way they like to go into the corner, it really doesn't matter how much speed you're carrying in. It's how much overall momentum you have. So just kind of whenever I get into those ruts in the race, just kind of recenter myself and just doing what I know the car wants. If I do something the car doesn't like it, just don't do it for laps in a row. Find out how it works and then be a machine, more or less.
Yeah, I understand. As we take a look here at our caution replay here, a little nudge to the wall there by Brady Motes, ends up spinning him out. Fortunately, only a single car wreck here. Unfortunately, whoa, man, almost clips the 20 there. Brady Motes not happy with his race as he's been having nothing but trouble. Vincent Arthur, while I got you up here, buddy, go ahead and talk to me about Wake Up Narcolepsy and give me a shout out for the rest of your sponsors.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to hop up in here to give my sponsors one last shout out for the years out. Obviously, got to thank Wake Up Narcolepsy. Got to thank you for the broadcast and Josh for letting me do this week in and week out. Thanks to Damn Good Sleep, Wisson, Harmony Biosciences, Avidel, just really everybody who's been able to help just get me to the place in my career where I am this year. I mean, this year's been fantastic, the best of my career, and it's only really looking up. And if it weren't for those partners hopping on board and helping me get opportunities, none of this would really be possible. So really just want to give them a shout out for the years out. And thanks to everybody watching at home, and we'll be back in 2026.
Awesome, man. Vincent Arthur, I hope you get another opportunity to get out there on the real racetrack. I expect to be rubbing elbows with you down there in pit road. Vincent Arthur, congratulations on this season, buddy. We'll see you next year.
10-4, man. Thank you for everything.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody, that is going to be Vincent Arthur out there in the DuPont Chevrolet. He's coming away with, unfortunately, a 12th place finish here. May actually be a 13th place finish as Matthew George, after 20 minutes, was able to put his car back together in one piece and is mobile. Boy, you would have thought he would have ended up with more damage, taking a header straight into that wall. Fortunately, it looked like Nick Ham's machine did pad him a little bit. Dustin Kleba locking down the fastest lap here of the race. First and only driver to hit under a 33-second time, 32.94 by the number 9 Ford, gaining 12 here on the night. Chase Durheim, our hard charger out there, he started in 17th. He's now up to the second position. Right now, that 99 is doing exactly what he says on the outside of that car. He's starting to round up every position and put it behind him. And he is doing just that. Currently trying to take out the trash here as it looks like Nick Gillis is going to be heading into the inside wall. Hard hit. Second caution here of the night. We're going to equate this one to Nick Gillis. His first cause caution back there on lap number 65. This one on 106. Interesting race here tonight. These guys have been getting mangled and bashed and beaten together here. And we'll see how all this holds together. Nick Gillis. Boy, I hate seeing that. He's been having a heck of a race here. Although not in the playoffs, still making a heck of a name for himself. He's been running top 5 all night. And the high side. Yeah, you can already see a little bit here. He's starting to skid. And away he goes in front of Brian Jones, who needs a solid finish tonight. And definitely a harder contact to that inside wall than the back he had on lap 65. So expect Nick Gillis to be down pit road for some amount of time here. He will be heading back to the drawing board, talking to his team out there about what to do and how to fix this car. Number 12 will be heading on down. Right now, we talked earlier in the race to Brian Jones about his pit road strategy out there, and I've got to say he can pretty much throw it out the window now. He was thinking 30, 30, and 30. Well, it doesn't seem to be the case here. Our big wreck here of the night happening back on lap number 72. And unfortunately, that collecting up Josh Conover, Matthew George, and Nick Ham. Ham has already taken it back to the garage. It looks like after 24 minutes, Josh Conover may not be returning here. And Matthew George is still out there. on the track. All right, we'll get a quick little moment here from Josh Conover out there and see what all he has to say. As Josh, you are currently sitting in pit road for the last 24 minutes. Lap number 72 is the caution you weren't involved in here. Did you expect to see all that come back up and meet you right there in the front bumper?
No, I actually missed his initial swipe towards the wall. And then when him and Matt got together and he hit the wall, it's when I got into him. But yeah, she tore the right front off from that slight contact with the wall, so we're done.
Yep, yeah, we saw the wheel was wedged up underneath that fender there, man, and it's going to be some heavy damage. I mean, we're talking steering rack, right front suspension, between the strut and everything else. So talk to me about this season. We've got a lot of things happening, a lot of changes for the National Oval Racing Association. Trust me, I would say maybe next time here, if we end up at Homestead, might want to trust the process a little more, seeing that Brady Moats has been slightly successful tonight, other than his lap 95 spin out here.
Yeah, I don't know. That I think the run before where I wrecked, I think it might have been Nick's wreck. No matter what I did, I couldn't have any pace, and then I just didn't have it tonight. Brady did. He was pretty quick, and at least the guys have until February to get this one fixed.
Yeah, when we talk about guys getting it fixed, we must be talking about iRacing, because I had hinted a little bit to Matthew George that they have made a pretty big change to this car. Some are okay with it, some not so happy. Everybody seems to be pretty upset and pretty uptight about how the race is going out there and what things are changing. You know, would just fixing the draft package on these cars change everything up here, Josh?
I don't know. Personally, I know when it first came out, we were complaining it was super tight, but I feel like the last couple mile and a half we've had, I mean, obviously you saw tonight I wrecked lap 1. I think Nick just wrecked for the second time in a self spin. I feel like now the diversity, I guess, instead of having so tight, if you run it, I guess the way we've been running it, we're wrecking loose. So I think for that aspect, it's actually been good. I think it's just super speedway, as we saw for the last Dega race, it still needs some work. So hopefully, we got some time before Daytona, obviously with the duels and the Bud shootout. So hopefully.
What do you mean? I loved it. I love that package.
Brady Moats joining us here, talking a little bit about how the process works, and his take here on the draft packages. Nick Gillis has received a black flag down pit road. He's going to come yet again. Looks like, unfortunately, the number 12 Ford is coming down to serve a penalty, as still knocking down some of the fastest times of the night. There's going to go to that number 9 Ford of Dustin Kleba. All right, the DEI team. Tough race here tonight, as you guys are just about blown to bits. I'm not sure who else is left right now. Yeah, the number 1 tagged out. The number 8 smashed. 25 got through. Nick Gillis has brought out 2 cautions here tonight. Vincent Arthur blinked out. Holy, who's left, guys? LJ? Yeah, your new guy who shows as his first race here of the season, and he's currently running in 10th.
Yeah, we're in shambles.
That's Brady's process.
Nothing more.
Brady's process. Fantastic. All right, well, we saw a start and park out there by Dalton Tucker. Fortunately, I've got not 1 but 2 admins here. Has he locked this one up?
Yes.
Yep.
Really? So Brian Jones doesn't hold the candle to him here.
Yeah, all he literally had to do was just show up, start park, and even if Brian gets max points, it still doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have missed, Brian would have needed, I think it was 3rd, just leading a lap with the most laps since Dalton started. The field obviously isn't big enough for points to matter at that point, so.
How close is it going to be if Brian Jones were to win the race?
40, right?
Give me a second. I could give you probably approximate points here.
I mean,
Let's
just
see.
how deflating.
45 seconds, I can tell you a rough number.
Yeah.
So we're assuming Brian will lead most laps?
Yeah, we'll just say, will it be under 50 points?
For 17, let's see.
Boy. Brady, the upcoming season, buddy, the way this one has ended.
Yeah, man, we were in shambles at the end of this
78.
year. 78? Yeah, we were in shambles at the end of the year, Pat. I'm definitely looking forward to regrouping and restarting at the beginning of next year. Honestly, the end of the season couldn't come quick enough. I had a pretty hot streak through the summer there, and then I fell off hard.
Dude, well, this track is definitely super, super slick out there. I do appreciate you guys able to drum up at least 15 drivers here tonight, which definitely made it a little bit tricky. I mean, we ended up with an early caution there from Josh Conover, and then we didn't end up with another one until lap 65, and they're starting to come a little more frequent now. Did you notice anything out there on the track? Is it starting to get too slick? I'm not noticing any temperature changes.
Not nothing crazy substantial anyways, honestly, because, I mean, it was just loose at the top. And then, I mean, honestly, I just felt kind of loose all around personally, but I don't know, nothing really changed extremely throughout. It was just a little bit treacherous to drive, but honestly, just trying to overstep it, driving it too hard is just what ended up getting us to the day.
Break underneath our 40 lap, getting ready to break underneath our 40 lap mark before we reach the end here of not only the season, the end of the race. This is going to be pretty wild here. All right, I've got two admins here. Any leaks here from the upcoming season?
You gonna say it, Josh? You me too.
Nora's closing.
Go ahead. You've been biting at the.
Or we're gonna hold out.
No, go ahead. You've been biting at the bullet to tell everybody from 2 weeks ago. So go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pat, I hope I'm not over 7 here. We're bringing back Tuesday nights, and then yours truly here in the booth with us is going to be our broadcaster, and we are doing first half of the season starting in late January, early February, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Late January, early February, not to be determined yet. We ain't got everything ironed out yet. And ending end of June will be a first half of the year will be a truck season in the truck series. Trucks, just big series, kind of like a sort of going along with real life, but like in terms of scheduling, but not really, more like a custom IRL type deal. Then in the second half, so we'll have 2 weeks off for 4th of July and all that, and then starting in mid to end July, running all the way until November, we'll have an Xfinity car series for the second half, and they'll both be their own seasons respectively, own points and all that, own respective seasons, and fully custom paints like we had in the Cup Series, the whole nine. It'll be a good time, and hopefully it'll be some interesting racing, stage racing, playoff systems back, all that stuff, so it'll be pretty interesting.
Whoa. So we're actually reverting back to...
Correct, but your Monday night series will continue. Obviously, that's our priority number one, getting the car count back up, getting some guys in here for next year for here. And then we will build upon all the stuff for Tuesday next.
Bro, cool. So trucks and then Xfinities.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And then got some, I guess you could call them sort of NORA OGs at this point. Mr. Storm and Ronnie Norman coming back to help us run it for that Tuesday night stuff. Going to be one of the admins helping us out, and just a few select other names in the hat that I have and Josh has that we'll bring back. You know, maybe a certain Mr. Malone or whatever. We'll see.
Oh, sweet. Well, I was going to say even Jay out there in the chat is hoping the Beaver Nuggets will return, possibly, and we'll see how that comes. So, okay, so we are sticking with Monday, and now we're going to be picking up a Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. It's how we ran it for years. To be honest with you, Josh always ran Monday was the truck league, and then Tuesday was Grand National, and then or Cup or whatever we had that year.
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought it was truck series, almost as like a farm team, is almost how you guys were running it, and then it would push these guys in the Cup.
Correct. And then there for like what, 2 seasons, Josh? I think we ran Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, wasn't it? Like truck, Grand National, and Cup. But obviously,
about a year, but
well, yeah, that's not really in the bag now. We're not looking to run 3 nights. Honestly, we just don't have the time for it, but to manage it. But we're excited about the 2-night thing, and we kind of, I feel like collectively, I don't know, Josh can probably speak for himself, but collectively, I feel like I missed it. I liked running 2 nights. It was pretty fun, and to be able to have, like a change in driving style and all that and everything. So
awesome. All right, good to hear that. I'm excited to see what you guys have kind of drummed up for that upcoming season, man. I think a lot of things are looking up here for the National Open Race Association. You guys able to put some things together, able to kind of, I would say, appease the racers. Everybody wants to drive a different vehicle. But I noticed one thing is if we are sticking with Monday nights, and I'm assuming we're sticking with the Gen 4?
yes.
Okay. I noticed
Well, I think that's actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think that's actually still in a vote, isn't it, Josh? Where are we at with that? I don't even know. Whether it's the legacy car or the new car?
I think he's just saying Gen 4 in general.
Yeah, we will be Gen 4 in general, but to be determined as to which car, I think. Because we're still having it up to vote for the team owners.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. I just want to note that next gen is not on the list.
No, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. We collectively despise that car.
It's
All right.
also 5-3 for keeping the new car.
Okay, yeah, currently 5-3 for keeping the new car in Mondays. So it's looking like we'll stick with the new car and not go back to the legacy Gen 4 car.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I was gonna say it definitely. The draft package is what kills this one, but I've got to admit, it does seem to handle getting a little bit loose when somebody gets a little too close. I think that adds a little more realistic feel to the car out there, and I definitely appreciate that. We will definitely keep everyone posted out there for what you guys have coming up as well, via schedules and things like that. I know that's still all written in pencil out there. But man, what a race this has been. What a season this has been. I mean, Dalton Tucker coming out here doing his thing. We saw Vincent Arthur, doing his thing in the next gens last season. I mean, there is a lot has changed here, and not only through iRacing, but through the league itself.
Josh, think you get?
I mean, you're up here too. But no, like I said, I mean, hopefully by the time we get back around to February, they at least do something with the package. I'm not saying completely overhaul it, but just a little tweak is all it needs. I feel, just to kind of get it back in the right direction. Like I said, I don't think you need a whole lot, just a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, a lot of things have been happening out here, and I think a few things to be changed. We'll also see, with new scans of these tracks. We'll see Rockingham, hopefully with the new paving, North Wilkesboro as well. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that's going to be happening out there, and I'm excited to see how all that pans out. It looks like, Josh, you still are missing the right side of your car there, buddy. I mean, we're taking a peek at you down there in pit road. Brady's already taken it back to the garage. He's already quit. You're still going for it. All right. Yeah, let's do Josh first. Go ahead and give me a shout out here, buddy, and then we'll get Brady's right after that.
First off, I'll do broadcaster as always. I always love going back and watching. Even when it's kind of a snoozer like this one, it seems like it's going to be right now. But it's been a good year. Hopefully, we can hit the recruiting aspect, bring some more new faces in here, and kick off the fun back at Daytona. And hats off to the DEI guys, because my motor actually blew up as well, so they're going to have to push a dead car back and haul it back to the shop. So I make Brady's boys work for it, and they don't go off with that, putting their back into it and earning their paychecks from Brady. So
Thank God for Anheuser-Busch.
Brady, is that all for you, bud?
Yeah, thank God for Anheuser-Busch. Thank God for you, Pat. Great broadcast. Like Josh said, we love freaking watching the broadcast, man. It's been great all year. And looking forward to 2 nights, man. 2 nights is going to be awesome. Very, very excited. Very excited to rip the truck and let the process eat. And hopefully the process can get hot and stay hot. And then, of course, a shout out to Josh, Nick, Chris Heights, Joey with us for a little bit, and Jake Christenberry. Good admin team. Feel like we've put together a pretty successful season. All in all, I feel like this has been one of our more tame seasons, but it's been a lot of fun. They did a great job all year. And then looking forward to what 2005/2026 holds us.
Sweet. All right, boys. Good luck to you guys out there. Appreciate you guys joining me here in the booth as we're getting ready to narrow down to about 25 laps left to go here in the Ford 400. And we will keep everyone posted on how the National Racing Association does.
Yep, and one more thing I like to say. When we get everything live and all that stuff like that, just be on the lookout for our Facebook for the Discords and all that. And then post on iRacing Leagues page on Facebook. Looking for the links and stuff like that to that new Tuesday league if you are interested and want to run. Just be on the lookout for that. We'll have the links and everything posted whenever everything gets ironed out and ready to go.
Awesome. And I think you guys even are running races in the off season, and not only on the asphalt either. You guys are playing out there in the dirt. Now, if I remember right, you guys run Knox here pretty soon?
Yep, and on Mondays we'll run the jumpy trucks just for like a fun little off-season thing for our guys as well, when we are not doing recruiting races for Monday stuff. So just something to keep all the guys together and keep us all hanging out, and just something where we can kind of cut loose and have a good time.
Right. And then you also understand people's driving styles. You get somebody mad at you, you know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to try to put it in your quarter panel and make. All right, Jay out there in the chat, jumpy trucks, man, you hear it. You two mess with me all the time. That's what you're out there racing, so this is your chance to go ahead and bring that vehicle out there and have a good time. All right, Brady, Josh, thanks, guys.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, Pat.
Yep. All right, everybody, and that's going to do it for those two guys as they are finally getting wrapping this season up. Hopefully they are able to collect the number 5 machine out there from Joey's stats. I knew that guy was definitely a recruiter, man. We struggled there in the middle of the season, and then they came out, and he was able to put another 15 drivers out there on the track, 5 of which we have kept. Chase Durine being exactly one of them, an excellent job. I know Dalton Tucker's been doing an awesome job with Hunter Sr. and Ryan Housden, these 2 guys, and Jared Skinner as well, which his entire team is currently sitting 6th, 7th, and 8th out there. These guys have been doing an excellent job. And you want to talk about, I like seeing teams work together and really come all, bring everything to the table. Chip Nossi is currently running 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're looking at the KPR or the Evernham Motorsports team, currently running 1, 2, and Brian Jones just picked up the 3rd spot. They're from Nick Geilis, and Jones, they're saying that even if he won this race, he'd have been 70 points off the season win. So Atlantis, definitely make sure you get a bowl of ice cream ready for him here at the end of the night. Brian Jones may need this one. I hate seeing how close he got and unfortunately undoing it. Ryan Housden showing he is wrecked out here as our next caution comes out here on lap 139. Target machine, ton of damage to the front nose there, but not as bad as the DEI driver there of Josh Conover in the number 8. Tons of damage here. I would say this is a good time, if there were to be a caution, to bring it out now. Definitely fuel stops and a fresh set of tires, and hopefully we're going to run and gun it to the end here. With about 20, maybe 18 to 17 laps left to go. So Ryan Housden, unfortunately, bringing out our next caution here of the night. Let's take a look. 41, slick. Whoop. Ooh, look out. That's going to be a hard hit. Boy, almost the same spot Nick Gillis is beginning loose. Brady Moats got loose. Josh Conover, beginning of the race. Same spot. Same spot. All right. Drivers working their way down the backstretch here, talking to their crew chiefs out there. Right now, Brian Jones did come down on lap 127. And Dustin Kleba came down on 130. Could this be a play call here for Brian Jones not to pit? Could Dustin Kleba just stay out there? He's got enough fuel to make it to the end. I would say this is probably going to be an opportunity. Somebody's not going to pit here. Ooh. Now shows me I have no idea what I'm doing. This one may have been an opportunity for a guy not to pit. If Brian Jones was having trouble getting a hold of the lead and he needed the win, this would have been the time to get up front. And I think he would only have about a 10-lap deficit on the tires. Could that bite him in the end? 100% it could. But how bad does he need that win, and how soon does he need to get up front? All right, I hope we see drivers like Kurt Quist able to resume. And return back to the National Oval Racing Association. I do like to note that Kurt Quist was the only driver to get a penalty of not being able to qualify for the entire season. That reason being going into pit road through too many pit boxes and exiting on too many pit boxes. And I think he did it about 11 times in one race. And that was enough to... it didn't ban him. It just penalized him from not being able to qualify. If I were him, you just kind of hang your head like, man, you got to be kidding me. But Kurt Quist did start coming alive, though. That dude was able to drive from the back up to the front. And definitely made a name for himself. Just haven't seen that guy back out here. Hopefully we are able to find Kurt Quist again. Hopefully see him back out there on the track. If I'm not mistaken, I thought Kurt Quist was out there in the number 55, I believe. It's been a right while since the last time we saw him. Darrell Johnson, I'm not sure. Bradley James also got the entire season. Chase Durheim unable to qualify. This will knock down one of those races. Yeah, this place is rather fair, especially when it comes to penalties. If you consider tonight's race, Ryan Housden was actually off his probation here in this race, and actually brought out a caused caution here on lap 139. But Brady Moats, we even talked to, has on probation. Normally it's about a 3-race probation, so Brady Moats, one of the admins here, so they do penalize each other, and then when it comes down to it, they will actually squash it between owner standings. All right, here we go. Dustin Kleba will be starting here. 18 laps left to go. Inside line's going to be Matthew George, and we've already got some issues here. As our next caution comes out, I thought I saw something happen to Skinner. And it did. 39 machine breaks loose here. And damage to the nose. Horrible restart here. They're going to re-rack him. Yeah, Jared Skinner's been just about untouchable all night. This guy's been fast. That did not happen. Take a look at the replay here. We see we get ready to go. Yeah, it looks like he's skidding. But then the 19 gets into the back of him. Cody Reeder pushing the envelope there and getting him spun around. Hopefully I've got an opportunity. We can maybe take another peek at this from a different angle. I'd like to see something a little bit closer. I mean, there's no doubt he gets into him here. I think my big question is he spinning his tires at the go? Because you see right here, look how much speed he's losing. And the 19's all over him. All right, last shot. We're going to take a look at that RPM gauge, see if anything changes here. Oh, it didn't shift. Oh, he didn't shift. So there's our issue. As he gets ready to go, that thing breaks loose. So take another peek at it. Here's the RPM gauge. See, it's smacking off that 9,500 RPMs, and it never went. You never hear him shift in a second. Wow. Okay, so plot thickens. Now we can't put all fingers here on Cody Reeder. We're going to leave it to Greg Thiessen out there as our race control to determine who was the caused caution here. I'll say this one might go to Skinner. I don't think they're going to give Cody Reeder an end-of-line penalty on that one. But with him being race control, he will be able to make that call. 19's going to say he was following in line, and then all of a sudden, Skinner had let off. What ended up happening is they actually spun the tires there and ended up breaking him sideways. And the 19 did get in the back of him there. Gotta love admins, though. Admins are already shifting around, starting to talk to guys about what did you see, what did you feel, what happened. And guys started moving all over the track here. So pretty excited about this upcoming seasons we have. SimTraX Broadcasting will be going with an all-new layout system. As we have been currently in the building process here for the last 4 to 5 weeks. Getting that ready to go. We'll have another few months before that'll be making its debut. Cody Reeder sitting in that number 5 position. Pace car lights are out. Call from race control is going to be Cody Reeder will maintain 5th spot. They're going to pin this one on the number 39, who's getting to the back of the field. Dustin Kaleba. 14 laps from taking the checkered flag here. Can Brian Jones take it away from his teammate? Everybody makes a quick getaway here from Matthew George, who's our lapped car on the inside. Chase Durheim wishes he got a little bit better of a jump here, or otherwise he's falling way off. Shoot down now to turn number 2, Chase Durheim in the chase. The senior trying to get around lap car number 25 there of George on the bottom. Here comes Cody Reeder poking his nose in. Kaleba not able to get away from Brian Jones that easy. Jones is trying to come up with a little more speed there. He is sitting off by about a half a second. Checking on the Home Depot car. Getting a solid clutch of drivers here. This is around the 6th position where we're currently looking at Jacob Flannery. Firing off turn number 2. Hard into the wall is the 77 machine. LJ Hernandez ricochets off the wall. Down to the bottom he goes. Oddly enough, it looked like the number 12 is getting loose again, destroyed. Caution not coming out for this one. He is staying turned left in. He does not want to head back out on the track. Fortunately, no caution for debris as the bumper sitting close, engine blown. Nick Geilis going to have to tow here. That's going to be the end of Geilis' night. Originally, I thought LJ Hernandez had been our driver to spin out after slapping off the wall. That is not the case. The 77 did not hit the wall. It was the number 12 who hit the wall. LJ was trying to get out of the way. So he breaks loose, comes down into pit road, throws 4 sets of 4 tires back on. Out he goes. Conover nudging that 54-minute mark, trying to get his car put back together. Nick Giles will be serving just the same. Not enough time to put his car back together. Expect Giles to be heading back to the pits. Cody Reeder now starting to knock down some time. And remember, that 19 car has been fading back a little bit here, saving tire. Early Cody Reeder, yeah, a little bit of air off that front nose here of Hunter Sr., getting him to sway a little bit, heading down the front stretch. Leva, Jones, Chase Durine, Cody Reeder, Hunter Sr. making up our top 5. Started this race with 17 drivers. I'm showing 9, 10 are still mobile. Currently 9 are running out there on the track. Ryan Housden trying to see if he can put his car back together. 11.5 minutes he's been down pit. Nick Giles bumping a minute and a half. Fortunately, Matthew George able to get back out on the track, and we were talking to Matthew George about consistency. This guy's got 3 goose eggs out there, but he is looking to see if he can finish in the top 10. Currently, I don't think he's got enough time to reel in Ryan Housden. I believe Matthew George needs to make up another 16 laps to finish a top 10. Still a great race, though, there by Matthew George, especially after coming back from a lap 72 caution. Giles has spun out not once, not twice, but strike number 3 landed for him on lap 149. He was sitting right above when we saw the number 12 Gatorade machine take a header straight to the inside wall. And that leaving our top 7 on the lead lap here. Jared Skinner sitting in the back. Skinner did have some damage earlier from lap 143. He is still seeing if he can fight that car back. So that leaves us on the lead lap. 4 Fords sitting 1 through 4 and 3 Chevrolets. 5th, 6th, and 7th. For 400 coming to a close here as we reach under 10 miles left to go of this 160 lap race. Dustin Kleba doing an awesome job, looking to see if he can come in that number 1 spot. Right now, I guarantee in the chat from KPR is can Cody Reeder, if he could finish 3rd, and we'll talk to the entire KPR Motorsports team, sitting 1, 2, and 3. But Cody Reeder getting really squirrely coming out of 2. Currently right now, Cody Reeder a little confused right now. Got 4 tires and fuel on lap number 140. Only needs to make it 20 laps on fresh tires. Definitely seems to be mixing it up for him here. Expect to see guys that are able to push just a little bit harder, though, as they're not having to save tires to the end. Lap number 140 is the Ryan Housden caution. Then we ended up with another one with Jared Skinner right there at the start. It looked like his gearbox got hung up in the first gear. 4 laps left to go. Chase Durheim trying to see if he can keep that roll. Currently still hard charger here of the night with 14 positions gained. Ryan Jones, 2.5 off the lead. I think we're going to need a big mistake here by Dustin Kleba as he's out there in the fresh air. Ryan Jones falling backwards. Now up to 1.7. Kleba definitely feeling it here, but still a 2nd place finish. That's another podium that we're going to be looking at here for Brian Jones. This guy's been doing an excellent job though. Brian Jones, if we want to talk about the amount of podiums, this will be his 15th one on the season. The only person to get more than that is Dalton Tucker. Who had 19. We're excited to bring you guys to the upcoming season next year at the Bud Shootout. Of all of our guys who got pole positions out there, Dalton Tucker with 10 over, Brian Jones with 5, Vincent Arthur with 3, Dakota Reeder with 2, Josh Conover with 1, Moten 1, Kleba got 4, Baumler got 4. Heck, even Nick Pressey, that guy got a pole out there. Unfortunately, a 16th place finish for the 0 car. But a white flag is out. Dustin Kleba, a mile and a half from taking the checkered flag here. Opportunity still out there for Cody Reeder to get that 3rd spot, but I think he's far away from it now. Jones sitting 2nd. Chase Durheim starting to reel in Brian Jones as Jones gets a little loose. Cody Reeder, 1/4 of a second, no can do. That's going to do it here. Coming to the line, Dustin Kleba. The Ford 400 belongs to him. Brian Jones 2nd, and Chase Durheim finishing out our top 3. Awesome job here. Awesome job here. That definitely worked out very well out there for Dustin Kleba, as he'll get a little awesome little nudge there by Chase Durheim, who had been chasing him most of the night. Definitely able to reel them all in. Dustin Kleba, as his teammates go up there and give him a congratulated little bump and nudge there. I am going to poke at these guys at the conversation earlier that these drivers would most likely not be returning next year. And we are definitely going to stick our finger in that wound and see if that is still the mindset that these guys may or may not return next year. This is a tough team and a very close-knit team. As you can see, all 3 of them still out there on the track. Definitely frying the tires off these Gen 4s as the end of the season is upon us. Final race here of the season. Dustin Kleba, Brian Jones, Chase Durheim, 1, 2, and 3. Excellent job there by the number 9 of Dustin Kleba. We'll talk to all of our drivers here in just a moment. Hang on, and we'll get a little piece from them. Alrighty, everybody. Finally catching up with our 3rd place finisher here, Chase Durheim. What a race here, buddy. 14 positions gained from the beginning. Unable to qualify for a number of races. Yeah, We'll poke this at your third place finish. If you were able to qualify, even top 5, top 10, you think you would have won this race?
No, I don't think so. As I was going through the pack, I was feeling pretty good. You know, it kind of reminded me of New Hampshire when, I don't know how, but I was somehow the fastest car there. I thought maybe I had a chance today, but I got up towards the front, and the 45 and the 40 and 19 and the 9, especially the 9. Once I got there, I realized I didn't really have anything for the 9 tonight. So it would have helped for sure. It would have been nice, and it's sure been a pain having to start in the back all these races. But as far as that goes, today it didn't matter as much as some of the other races. So.
All right, Chase and Chance normally show up here at the nights to give the National Oval Racing Association a little peace of mind out there for a race. What is the ability to have a little more attendance next year?
Well, the reason I missed so many races this year was I'm a farmer, so about October and September, I'm pretty much in the combine, you know, sun up till sundown. So the fall and the spring for about a month or a month and a half there, it's going to be tough. But otherwise, I love this league. I love these cars. These guys race really clean, so I'm going to be here as often as I can, that's for sure.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll get you to talk to Brian Jones out there. His guy is raced from a laptop inside of his hotel. Maybe we can figure out in that combine how you can set a steering wheel up inside of there and maybe put it on autopilot. You know, get you racing. You know, get you cutting in one line and racing on another. And we can see how you can do out there because, man, you come out here and your Ford is extremely tough out there and extremely competitive. I would love to see that Roundup car out here next season. Chase, what an awesome job here, buddy. Go and give me your shout-outs.
Shout out to my fiance for taking care of the kids while I do this, and a couple other friends that are always watching. I have no affiliation with the Roundup, or I don't even like Fords, honestly, so hopefully next year I'm in a different car, but thank you as well for putting on the broadcast. You guys always do a really good job, so I'm excited to go back and watch this one, and some of the other races too. You guys always do a great job, so thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, not a problem. And yeah, but even a farmer Roundup, I thought that was a good fit.
Yeah, I saw it as an option, and I had to do it.
All right. Well, go ahead and start talking to some of these guys trying to get in as a part-time driver. I think they're already starting to get the schedule drawn up in pencil, and I think that leaves us, I think they were saying late January, early February, so that leaves us about a couple of months here. So head down, buddy. Chase, pleasure talking to you, buddy. What an awesome experience it was to see you from the booth here, moving your way up to the front and being the hard charger of tonight's race. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Looking forward to next season. See ya.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody, that is Chase Durheim, our third-place finisher. Moving us on to Brian Jones. Boy, I'm hoping this guy is going to have a good head on his shoulders here because deflated he's going to possibly be. Brian Jones, this race, one step away. Dalton Tucker made sure he started this race. Let's talk a little bit about the championship here. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't get it done. I'm thinking back to races like, you know, Dover and some other ones where I got into some damage, got into some trouble on pit road maybe. There's just too many opportunities that I kind of let get by me.
Well, it happens, and every single night. I mean, we have two drivers in the playoffs that neither one of them have a win, neither one of them have a pole position, and only one of those drivers has at least 2 podiums. You know, that being Matthew George and Jacob Gladelick out there. Now, you have over a handful of wins here. You've been on the pole multiple times. You know, we've talked to you multiple times here. It's extremely hard when the competition gets this hard in a league like this. When we come up on this next season, I mean, same mindset. You know, do we need to race a little tougher? I mean, what happens here?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's just not a whole lot you can do. Race smarter. Try not to get in race-ending situations with the damage and wrecking out of races. And I don't know. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I could have done, I don't think.
Well, Lannis has been rooting you on out here, man. And definitely keep your head up. You were a heck of a racer. If I were to come out here, I'd probably be getting a hold of you saying, hey, man, what can I do to improve my game? You definitely have the pit strategy down. You've got the racing down. Now we just got to get rid of some of that bad luck. We saw Vincent Arthur serve a lot of that bad luck out there this season, whether it be his own fault or getting collected up in a bunch of other things. And Dustin Kleba did as well. I'll never forget Dustin Kleba there at Pocono. I mean, just absolutely owning that race and then got obliterated by a lapped car. I mean, I don't see how that doesn't scar his mind out there. But you even had LJ Hernandez out here who roots you on each and every week in the broadcast out there on the track. How was it?
Yeah, cool to see LJ on the track. Yeah, it's just been a long season, a lot of races, a lot of time commitment. So it was good, and I'm glad that it's over now and we can kind of relax and do other things for a little bit.
All right. Well, when we talk about do other things, I even poked out there in the on the broadcast before I got you or Dustin Kleba. Kleba's coming away with a win. Is KPR still looking to pull here, or are we lining up for next season?
We're gonna see what's out there, what our options are. Haven't really made a final decision yet on that.
Okay, Monday and Tuesdays, there was a leak between Brady Moats and Josh Conover when I had them up here. Mondays and Tuesdays, these guys will be running. Mondays will stick with the Gen 4 cars. I believe that's going to be a 36-race season. Tuesdays will be separated between two 16s, first starting with trucks in its own season, and then breaking off in the final 16 races, or a whole nother season, will be the Xfinity cars. We're not getting back in the next gens. Would that possibly pique your interest?
So trucks don't really pique my interest at all. Xfinity definitely does, so I kind of like some of that. Obviously, I enjoy the Gen 4s. I like the older Gen 4s more than the new ones. So, yeah, we'll just see how things play out.
Okay. Well, the only reason I poke here, Brian, I like seeing you race, buddy. You're a clean racer. You're a tough racer. And I like your strategies. You make me nervous sometimes with your strategies, how you do it. And sometimes I say, well, I learned something tonight. You know what I mean? And then I can take that onto the track. And I'm hoping even during our broadcast, there are a few people out there watching as well that take that as as kind of a hint. What is the 45 doing? Because I think, Brian, from the outside looking in, I think drivers like in the number 42 car, in the number 24 car, in the number 1, and the number 8, these guys watch to see what you do. And that's how they play their game. And to me, that should be the check mark and and that level of experience out there that these guys look to you first to figure out how they're going to run their race instead of running their race and you following them. So kind of take that as you may, Brian. Awesome job here tonight. Go and give me your shout-outs, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Big shout-out to the wife of Lannis. Appreciate her always supporting me. Big shout-out to Cody and Dustin, the two teammates for this year. They were just tremendous all year long. A lot of fun to hang out with. So big shout-out to those guys. Also shout-out to Expel. If you want car care products, all that stuff, go check out Expel and use code Alanis20 for 20% off at checkout.
Beautiful. All right. We also get a little piece of that home field car. Gave you a little shout out there at the beginning of the race, and we see also that coupon code on the quarter panel and rear bumper of your car. All right, Brian, I'll be holding my breath here for about 60 days. Hopefully we see you back on the track, brother.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
All right, everybody. Brian Jones, second place finish here tonight. And what a race. We've gotten a hold of Dustin Kleba more than once. We've talked to this guy plenty of times, and even in different situations. This one, no different. Right now, we move on to our race winner here. Dustin Kleba, let's see what kind of sarcasm he has for us this week. The number 9 comes in that number 1 spot. Awesome job here, Dustin. What was the key to success tonight?
Crossing the finish line before everybody else on lap 160. I think that's what ultimately got me the win. No, it feels good. It was a strange race. I think in the beginning. I thought running the top was ultimately what was going to help save your tires, and I thought it was faster as well, but it could have been a fuel mileage race where if you're running the top, you weren't going to make it, but if you ran the bottom, you could make it. So it was a big internal debate on if I was going to run the top or run the bottom or what I was going to do. And man, the bottom just really came in there at the end. I think you're still using more right front, but if you could put your lefts right on the line, it would basically hook you and bring you around. So figured that out, and from there we had some cautions that made it so it wasn't a long run to end it, and it was just a couple of short run stints. So from there it was just go all out and no saving, which I'm typically not very good at, but man, it worked out. I love this track. I've done thousands of laps. It's a fun place. I will say running the top was really fun. You can get it running in there pretty good, but for some reason tonight it wasn't the best line. But hey, we adapted, we figured it out, and here we are.
Well, your trifecta, it's been a while since let's start that again. It's been a while since we've seen you come away with a win. This has got to be feeling pretty good. You haven't placed any podiums since the trifecta. Back in Auto Club, you placed second. Bristol, you placed second. We were at Michigan before that. You placed third, and then you were fourth at Watkins Glen. I mean, so it's been a while since we've seen you up here and able to take away kind of a smiling moment. Very tough race here. We could have used a few more drivers, but a lot of things happen out here on the track. And to me, I would say the way this is looking here, Dustin, I know the KPR Motorsports team has had a solid bite of a lemon, but this is a heck of a way to end the season. Kind of what is the outlook for you and your team?
Oh, for sure. It feels great. Basically bookend the season. I was able to win the shootout first race of the season, got the win at Darlington, and then to end it like this, it feels good. Definitely a tough stretch there. I just needed to take a break for a little bit because I just wasn't having fun for a while, and stepped away for a bit and came back and had a blast. So props to Cody and Brian. They both gritted it out the entire season. They are both very, very consistent throughout. And Brian obviously cranked off a couple of wins, and Cody's just, he just doesn't go away. No matter what, no matter whether he's doing it to himself or somebody else is trying to take him out, it just has good finishes. So I applaud them for rocking out the season. And it's I guess I just need Vincent and Dalton to not show up every week, and then we'd be pretty good. But seriously, congrats to Dalton. He obviously was by far the best of everybody in during the entire season. So he definitely deserved to kind of take a victory lap and just do a start and bark, and would have been a blast to run against him. And maybe I could have lost by only 2 seconds instead of 8 seconds, and it would have been fun. But nonetheless, here we are. Brian definitely didn't make it easy on me. Chase definitely didn't make it easy on me. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of guys out there, but there's a lot of attrition, not a ton of cautions, but the way the cautions timed out, you really had to think about strategy, how you're going to use your tires, when you're going to get fuel. So it wasn't exactly a cakewalk, but I'm happy about that. And I'm happy that some guys showed up and definitely made me work for it. I'm sweating through my shirt like 3 times over. I need a shower.
Yeah.
I stink.
Gross. All right. Well, we got a little bit of a leak there earlier in the broadcast here about what the upcoming season is. Monday nights will stay at Gen 4. Tuesday nights we're going to be picking up, but it's going to be split in half. First starting with trucks and then ending in the 16 race season out there with Xfinities. So you have trucks for 16, Xfinities with 16. Any of that pique your interest or might bring the KPR Motorsports team to change your mind?
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk it over internally. I think it's a great idea because about halfway through the season, you start to get people dropping off, and if you're not really in contention, you kind of trail off, lose interest, and I think that's a great timing where you can kind of reset in the middle of the summer. Props to the admins. Applause to Brady, Jacob, Nick, all the admins, especially the ones that I just listed, and none of the other one. I can't think of another admin. I think that's it. There's no wait. Oh yeah, and there's. Oh no, not him. So yeah, props to him for. I'm kidding, Josh. I'm kidding. Good job. No, I think, like I said, it's a great idea. I think if we could keep the old Gen 4 car, we'd have a little bit more interest. But I don't know, and maybe it's just taking me the entire season to figure out how to drive these things. But yeah, we'll be talking about it. Maybe some of us will do both. Maybe some of us will do one. Maybe some of us won't do any. Well, it's so far away, man. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. I think I'm working, right? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm working. I am not racing though, so I know that.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, it's still, I know it's still up in the air, but it's something that at least bring up a little bit and start talking about. Dustin, I'm glad to see you back, buddy. Looking at the, if I'm not mistaken, the owner standings, I would love to see you return back. I know Evernham Motorsports, since your hiatus has kind of fallen off the table a solid bit. Brian's been out there pretty tough. Cody's been top tens, but definitely, I would say you're the nail in the coffin when it comes up against that Chip Nassy racing team, and I hope you guys can reprise your role next year. All right, Dustin, go ahead and give me a shout out there, brother.
Yeah, first, again, want to say congrats to Dalton. He absolutely wiped our ass the entire season, and he's the reason. I mean, there's a reason he keeps coming back, and he just represents our league very well. Even though he does kick our butts just about every single week, it would be really easy for him to just treat us without any respect. But I feel like there's very minimal run-ins with him throughout the entire year. So props to him. I think he did a great job. I think he does a good job at pushing us. As much as we don't like losing to the same person over and over, ultimately he does make us better. So congrats to him on a good long year. And same to Vincent. I know he had a little bit more attrition there throughout, and had to miss a couple races for various reasons. But again, he pushed us all to be better. And I can say the same for Brian, Cody, Josh, everybody that ran throughout the entire year. Really, anybody that ran all 36 races. You guys are freaking insane. Like, there's better things to do. Go watch Law and Order or something. What are you doing hanging out with these fools? But no, seriously, props to everybody that stayed out. I know car count got a little low at the end there, but we wouldn't be able to do this if people didn't show up. So appreciate the people that stuck it out. Of course, thanks to my teammates that stuck it out longer than I did. Every week, man, they're here to grind it out and grind out good finishes. And it seemed like it didn't matter how hard I worked. I couldn't keep up. They did a great job, and definitely nothing to hang their hat on. Thank you to you guys, of course, for coming every single weekend or weekday, every single Monday. I think I speak for everybody in the entire league. Obviously, we're here. If you guys aren't here, there's a lot of us that would not be here because we only do this so our families can watch us play a video game simulator. Sorry, without you guys, that can't happen. So appreciate you and Stella sticking it out. I know there's some dry races and some exciting ones too. So there's always that, but I'm sure those tough to follow races are tough to keep entertaining, and it can be tough to talk to yourself. I can talk to myself pretty easily, so it's not too hard for me. If you ever need a break, just hit me up. I'll probably be running like third or fourth or in the pit area, and I can start just yabber-mouthing throughout the entire race. Thanks to my family that kept watching even when I wasn't racing. So I don't know what you're doing for the broadcast, but it must be good. Clearly they're here to watch the broadcast, not watch me.
I haven't seen Ken in a while.
Well, I put him in timeout.
Oh.
Yeah. Gotta keep the comments to yourself sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's good to have engagement. So, shoot. Is that the music playing me off? I'd like to thank the Academy and was a Grammys or an Oscars joke. I don't know if you got it, but now that I feel like I had to explain it, I just feel even dumber.
I was like, killed it. You killed it, Dustin.
Thanks. Oh man, yeah. I don't even know what to say. This is a super long season. I'm happy we were able to end it, all three of us, with good finishes. And man, I'm going to bed. I haven't had to stay up this late in a long time. I got first, man. Remember the good old days when I finished third and I'd be in bed by now?
Yeah.
Those are the days.
or your slew of seconds, but eventually you come away with a win. So you win the first race of the season and the final race. Definitely a heck of a way to start and end the season. Dustin Kleba, congratulations, buddy. A pleasure talking to you again, and hopefully you guys can take a positive out of this. I would love to see the entire KPR Motorsports team come back. You guys have been tough all year, and I think a lot of guys start looking at that team. And I would say Chip Nasi came in late, and I think he noticed that the Everdam Motorsports team were the ones to beat. But that's going to be something to say as of next season. We'll see if you guys consider reprising your role as one of the toughest teams out there. Congratulations on your win.
All right, thanks, guys. You have a great off season.
Thanks, buddy. All right, everybody, that is going to be Dustin Kleba, and Jay out there saying comedy gold. And Push the Edge Net saying great season. Alana saying thank you so much for broadcasting. Yep, not a problem. I enjoyed these guys, especially when the racing's good. I gotta admit, when the racing's good. When we start getting separated, we got too few drivers out there. Makes it a little difficult. But you guys out there in the chat make it all worthwhile. I appreciate you guys reaching out, talking, saying hello. I mean, asking questions. I'll do my best. If we're running replays, I try to get you a different angle if there's something specific you want to see. But definitely, we try to keep it all PG, happy-go-lucky out there in the chat. All right, that's going to do it for the National Oval Racing Association. Don't forget to check their Facebook on the upcoming seasons and what they've got going on. UCLJ was able to join out there in the number 77 Ford, which finished in a top 10 in your first race. Congratulations. But it's not that hard to join this league. Get out there, join up, and definitely make something of this league. You can make it yours and make it a night you can race, even have your family watch, like Dustin Kleba said. But that should do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the National Oval Racing Gen 4 Cup Series. Congratulations to Dalton Tucker being our champion here of the season. He'll be getting a nice little trophy and a little bit of money chucked his way. But that's going to do it for us here at SimTraX. Be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.